What's good, people? Welcome back to London Boy Podcast. We're now on season 2. Guys, how's it going? I'm here with my friend David. David, what's going on, man?
Yeah, man, I'm good. So I can't wait for season two. We've got a lot of
Yeah,
content
of
coming.
course, bro, of course. And also here with Andrew. Andrew, what's good, bro?
I'm good, bro. You?
Yeah, good, man. Good. You excited for today's episode?
I am. I am.
Good, good. Have you seen any of the episodes we've released?
Yes, I have.
Good. What's
I
your
saw
favorite?
some. I. I think it would be. Um. Which one was it? Not the one before the. It was the one where we were talking about business and stuff like that. I remember this was like a week back or something or
Oh,
two.
so was that the Hustler one or was it the Financial Freedom one?
I think it's a financial freedom one.
Yeah. Oh,
Financial.
wicked, wicked. Yeah, you were saying?
Yeah, I was saying, yeah, that was the one that I enjoyed.
Oh, nice one, bro, nice one. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Yeah, and we've also got Andy. Andy, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. You managing to stay awake, eh?
I will. Don't worry.
Yeah, yeah. So are you excited for this episode? We're talking about relationships.
I am quite curious. So,
Good, good. And have you been familiar to any of the content in the recent month?
yes, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
great. Which you name one that you watched?
Sorry, what?
I said, which one have you seen? Which one have you seen?
Well, there was one David sent me, and I can't remember which one. But I think it was about previous relationship
Oh,
of
past
David,
relationship one.
or I don't know. Yeah, I watched a part of it before
Yeah.
bedtime one day. So
Yeah, that one was quite deep, wasn't it?
it was quite to keep up.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, guys, without further ado, our first topic of this episode, will be about relationships. And here we've got perspective of see 4 different people, myself, see Andy, female perspective, and we've got the perspective of David and Andrew as well. So yeah, let's start off. David, do you have anything to say to begin with?
So relationships for me, um, I've had a few. I've had a few in my previous, a few
Your
years
past
ago.
life, yeah.
Yeah, in the past life as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've had a few, and when it comes to sort of a relationship now, I know what I want. Like even though I'm still quite young, I'm turning 24 soon. I sort of have an idea of sort of what I want in life, and
Yeah.
it might seem a bit crazy to some people, like, oh, he's still 23, 24, etc. But once you've experienced a certain level of sort of things in your life, age doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I've met some people that are younger than me, like 21, 22, and they've gone through so much stuff in their life, and they're probably on a different levels to someone that's 30 or 40. So age doesn't really matter for me. It's all about life experience. So with my previous relationships, um, I did mistakes, and I've learned from them. And now I'm going to try and find someone that can fill that void. I'm not looking for someone that's perfect, obviously, because no one is.
Yeah.
But if I can see someone that has potential, then that's great.
Yeah, of course. What about you, Andy? What's your sort of perspective on relationships right now?
So I got out of a long relationship almost a year ago, and I actually started dating around since August, on and off.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit distorted, to be honest. I haven't had really good experience
Of
with
course.
it, so yeah.
And you mentioned distorted. Distorted in what way?
I don't know. I feel like you know, you keep experience a certain thing, and then you just you don't want to experience it, but you just keeps happening, and you don't know
Yeah.
what you want.
I know what you mean. It's like that saying, you know, you repeating the same thing over again is a definition of madness. You know,
Yeah, I don't.
yeah, it feels
I
like
like.
that.
I feel like I can't fall in love. It can't happen. Like I'm immune.
I'm guessing that's because you you've been dating a certain type of guys, or the guys have treated you a certain type of way. That's like similar.
They, yeah. Well, some
Yeah.
of them. Well, yeah.
Oh, got you. Yeah, you know, just like you said, you just gotta see how it goes, you know, in the future. What about you, Andre? How's your relationship
Um,
status? You seen anyone, or you been single for some time?
I would say I've been single for some time.
Yeah,
Um, kind of like David, I've had like some relationships, like David and Andy. I had some relationships as well.
yeah, yeah.
But I'm single at this point in time.
So,
Why? Go on.
yeah, I was just gonna say, what? How comes you're single? Is that by choice? Like, are you just focusing on yourself, or have you had relationships that haven't worked out, sort of thing? You know.
Yeah, I've had some that have fizzled out and
Yeah.
some that didn't work out. So I've had a bit of both.
Mm. Yeah, I see. And so, how are you finding that single life?
And some that fizzled out. How do I see it?
I mean, how are you
How do
finding
I
it, like being single? Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, some days is great. Some days a bit, it's a bit shifty. You know, them days that you just have to go to the gym with it, or like, you know the one.
You think this is long? Let me just go to gym.
You know the one.
Yeah,
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 yeah, that's what I would say. But one thing that I would like to point out
yeah.
from what David said was, David said that he would it would be good to kind of find somebody that can fill the void. Whereas in my perspective, I kind of feel like there's no one that can fill the void except you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I couldn't agree more. I see it similar to, at the end of the day, like, why, like, I just think that you're a complete person in yourself. Like, you shouldn't have no void to fill, and if you do have a void, you should be able to improve your life to the point where you're good on your own, and anyone else that comes along is a bonus. You know, that's like my
yeah, that's
perspective. And my perspective, I've based on like similar to David and yeah, all of you, to be honest. I was in a long term relationship for 2 years. And I've got two different perspectives. When I was younger, I was like, so the relationship went from 16 to 18. In those 2 years, I thought that, yeah, I found the one. I thought it was all like Disney, you know. I thought, yeah, we're going to marry, we're going to this, we're going to start a family in the future and whatnot. And then little did I know it all went crashing down. And then the last 3 years, I've dated around, but I haven't had a serious relationship, and my perspective has changed. I just feel like my sort of point of view now is to just work on yourself and pattern your life, your life the best you can be, and also there's too many unrealistic expectations that I think a lot of women sort of put forward, which I just feel like, you know what, this is long. Let me just focus on myself, you know.
mm, mm.
Yeah. So
I was gonna say, what do you think, Andy, of
yeah,
that?
what do you think of that statement?
I don't know. Like, girls can be very tough for sure. And you know, I feel like girls like me who don't know what they want can make it very hard for a guy.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, I feel like if you're a decent person and you don't have very high standards, I mean, it's good to have certain ideals in your head, like, oh, I want this type of guy, and I want, you know, I want to have him to have, you know, I want to have a certain connection with the guy, but I think it's also good to look at level of education and, you know, a little bit of background. I mean, background doesn't matter to me, to be honest, but for some people, it definitely does. But I don't know. Considering all of that together, I'm not sure if it's like setting the bar high for yourself to find a guy. No.
Like for me, right? I've experienced some stuff in my life, and now I've got expectations, but I don't want to sort of like go for someone that's like crazy high level or anything like that. I just have certain expectations, and I think it's the same for females as well. You know, like a lot of females, they have different men approach them, chatting them up and stuff like that, and obviously it's like a food chain, you know. Obviously the top of the food is sort of like what you want, you know. You don't want the McDonald's and the shitty food at the bottom, you know.
What do you want, Dave? Do you want Nando's?
No, like, I've got expectations, and I'm not looking for someone that's like perfect, and I'm not looking for someone that's like right at the top, that's a gourmet meal. I'm looking for someone that's either got their own stuff going on, is basically in a similar position to me.
So mate. Don't let those people.
Well, I'm perfectly fine being by myself as well. You know? Like, I've got my own stuff going on, and I think some other people need to learn. It's okay to be by yourself. It's okay to do things by yourself. And if someone is going to come along and support you in what you want to do in life, then great. You know.
Yeah, 100, man, 100. Because like I've seen some people, both girls and boys, but I don't remember the last time I've seen them single. Like, they either bounce from relationship to relationship, or they're constantly sort of looking to be with one, to be with someone to be happy, you know.
Yeah, to feel their happiness. It's like you don't need someone to fulfill your emotions. You should make goals and achievements in your life to make you happy, not someone to make you happy.
Exactly, you should make yourself happy, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't ask Andy. Andy, so what do you prefer it? Finding it single? Do you like enjoy working, focusing yourself, or do you feel like you need to settle down with someone? You know.
No, I don't feel the need to settle down. I do experience some pressure from like my parents, like, hey, I just turned 26, and like, hey, when are you going to, you know, find someone? And also my friends are pretty much all of them are in a relationship, so I'm like the only one who's a bit behind. But the thing is, I'm not focused on myself at the moment, not at all. I don't know how to focus on myself. I've never been some sort of a self-focused person in the first place. It's not that my focus is on dating around, but I'm not focused on me at all. So I keep getting disappointed after every date. I think I got a pretty bad anxiety of people leaving me because of it. So yeah, it's quite a disappointment. My dating life is quite a disappointment at the moment. So I'm trying to work on it, though.
You're going, Andre?
Oh no. Are you asking my opinion?
Yeah. So what's your opinion like? In like sort of like when you're 26 and that, most sort of people, especially females, they're expected to settle down, especially from their parents. You know, they say, "Oh, when are you gonna like get married and give us grandkids and that?" Like to be honest, my opinion is those days of settling down when you're young, when you're in your 20s, are over. They're long gone. You know.
So I would say that I see two sides to it because
Yeah.
I kind of have like loads of friends that also are in like relationships, and some of them are married.
Yeah.
But obviously I'm not on that side. But then, like, for every single one of us that's on here, we could have had that possibility at some point in time.
Yeah.
So there's different reasons why we're not there, and also depending on what your goals are, maybe you might want to do a lot more building of yourself before you get into such a position. So,
Yeah.
that's what I'm going.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that because to be honest with you, like if like David said before, like you don't want the bottom trash and you don't want the top sort of gourmet high maintenance. You want that someone that's bang on in the middle, that has a perfect balance. And to be real with you, like all I really want is someone that's family orientated, supportive, and hasn't got a bad history of like sleeping around sort of thing. Hasn't got like a bad reputation. But like when I do aim for them type of people, I just feel like they're looking for someone like Drake, someone that's like super rich, or you know what I'm saying, bruv? Like the ones you want, they want someone that's driving the flash car.
Now maybe you're aiming too high. You're aiming for the. Go on, Andre.
Like, I get what Vinny is saying. Like, there's people like that, but then also there's like girls that like average guys. Like, so I don't think that you should only see that side of it. Otherwise, it just it complicates everything and it makes your life like 10 times hard.
I guess so.
Cause like,
but that's the thing with me though. I either go for them girls there and then it doesn't work out, or the other alternative is the ones that are easy. But I don't really like that, bruv. I don't really like getting with girls that are just hoeing around, bruv. You know? Like, I just want someone that's just cool, does it, works, and chills at home and whatnot, and it's just easy to get along with, you know?
yeah,
My perspective, I want someone who's got goals and ambitions and drives. Like she's an independent one, right? And isn't dependent on me to make her happy. Like she's got her own stuff going on, you know. Like if I'm able to support her, then great. And if she's able to support me, then great. And I think that's probably what we're all kind of aiming for, you know. And I feel like people that are watching this video probably want to know as well. You know, you need that sometimes, that emotional support to get out of bed and do something with the day.
Of course.
Someone to actually care for, someone to actually appreciate. That's all I'm asking for. Like, I ain't asking for the world. I ain't asking for someone like a supermodel or anything like that, you know. And even with the looks as well, you know, like looks obviously like you're physically attracted to someone, but it's not it's not the end all of the thing, you know. Like if I just want my emotional needs to be fulfilled. But if I don't have that, then I'm perfectly fine fulfilling those needs by myself.
All right, you said it's
I
not
feel
about
like
looks then, no?
It's obviously you're physically attracted to something, you know, that's nature. Like we're physically attracted to the latest iPhone or a really nice car or a really nice handbag, or we're just physically attracted by things that are pretty, right? It's nature. But we also have that emotional aspect with us, you know. So if you can fulfill it yourself, then great. If you need someone with you to fulfill those needs, then hopefully you can find someone that's able to support you and is able to allow you to succeed in life. Yeah. Like, what do you think, Andy?
On what part?
So what do you feel, like you said earlier on, like you feel like you're depending on other people to fulfill your emotional needs?
Yeah, it's just honestly like okay, so I will try to explain it well. So I've been in a relationship for 5 years. Wow. I was quite young. I was 18-ish. I'm a completely different person now. I got out of the relationship when I was 25, which was last year. And I feel like I'm a different person now. So I started dating and I learned quite a lot of things about myself. Okay, so I started learning that my ex just wasn't the person I needed in my life. I learned that I need a certain connection with someone in order to take it to the next level. And I learned that life can be hard. You can't expect things from dating around and hopefully you'll get a relationship out of it. It doesn't work like that. No. But in terms of like, I don't know, like, okay, David, you mentioned like, oh, you want a girl that has her things going on, well educated, well, has nice looks. I mean, obviously that's quite important. But like for me, I don't care about looks. I know it sounds weird to say that, but I sometimes tell my friends a guy and like, hey, I'm talking to this guy, and they just look at me like, what the hell? Why are you talking to this guy? You can do so much better. And they don't get it. They don't get it. What I mean, what I see in a guy. So like looks are Andy, subjective.
What do you tend to look for in a guy? Since you're saying you don't look at look, what do you tend to look for?
So I definitely need someone who's high in emotional intelligence. So that's very important to me because I dated a guy, well, my ex actually, and he was very low. He didn't speak. He didn't communicate with me.
Wait, hold on. He didn't speak?
Well, he did speak, but like he didn't communicate with me like at all. I'm not like exaggerating. He didn't communicate at all. When we were fighting, he just stopped talking and just ignored me for days. And a lot of things happened and he just didn't tell me about it. Yeah. So he just couldn't communicate for some reason. Anyway, so that's why I need someone who's very good in communicating.
Charlie, I have another question, Andy. Do you feel like you did not contribute in any way to your last relationship not going as well as it should have gone?
If I did not or did contribute?
Wait, do you feel like you did not contribute? Do you feel like you are not part of the reason it fell apart?
So like he's trying to say it's usually 50-50, when that sort of stuff happens.
No, I wasn't part of I know it might sound too shallow. Okay, so I will try to explain it. So it went downwards a bit before COVID, back in February, and when he had episodes that he just zoomed out and just barely spoke to me, and then he came back and like a really nice guy and did everything for me. So I was kind of used to that. And he was back in an episode where he just zoomed out. So I left him. But what I tend to do is do a lot for him when he zooms out. So I do a lot for a person. That's what I shouldn't have done, but I did that. And then COVID hit really hard in March, and we haven't seen each other. And that's where the bad things started. He started ignoring me. First, just like he started ignoring me for like a day, and then like a couple of weeks later, he ignored me for 3-4 days.
Yeah.
I know he ignored me because he was on Instagram. He was on my Netflix watching stuff. So I know he was ignoring me. And then, you know, it's like a lot of going on. I kept asking, hey, is everything all right? Can I do something for you? If you need anything, you know, I'm here. I'm your girlfriend. So talk to me. And, you know, kept ignoring me. And, so at one point we should break up because, I'm not happy with you. You're not happy with me. Wow. So I told him, no, we should just talk about it first and then come to a decision. Then he ignored me, and then I turned 25 and he sent me a flower on my birthday, which was quite weird because he wanted to break up with me. And then after my birthday, the ignoring started again. I started pushing more like, hey, what's going on? We need to talk. Let's talk on the phone. He kept using COVID as an excuse to not meet up. And at the middle of May, before we were together for 5 years, one day before our anniversary, he texted me. I just came back from my hockey practice, and he texted me, it's over.
Oh, no.
Just like that. Yeah. So that's the backstory. So as you can imagine, I had a lot of questions. He didn't give me a reason. He recently tried to... He wanted me back.
Yeah, he's regretting it.
And he gave me a reason. And the reason why he broke up with me is because he was busy with work. He was working 36 hours a week.
So
that was the reason.
So that's what everyone uses. Like you're not the first person to work. You know what I mean? Like and hold down a relationship. Like it's like, excuses. You know.
36 hours is very normal.
Yeah, exactly.
That's below normal.
No, it's not. That's
I know, but like, yeah, he was like, I was just really busy and I couldn't be in love with you at that time. And I was like, okay, so you are now? And he was like, yeah, I want you back. He actually gave me a book. It's a Dutch book about. So there's a book with questions and you have to fill it in about a person and questions about why he loves me. And he had to list a couple of reasons why, a couple of things he regrets. And the first one he mentioned is breaking up with me. But yeah, I didn't want him back. I couldn't. I didn't feel any emotional connection to him. He literally broke me. And I had to pull myself back together.
Yeah.
I think I did pretty decent. But I just can't do it. So it's, you know, I think he understands why. But I don't want to hurt him in any way.
Exactly, but yeah, that's just out of order, you know. He repelled, he broke up with you, and then he's just coming back saying, "Oh, I regret it." You know, it's like people need to know what they want, and they need to know the damage they're causing, like by doing certain things as well. You know. Yeah,
I mean, I won't apologize to try to fix what he broke.
Exactly, and yeah.
So
It's all about moving forward, isn't it? Like, why would you want to go backwards on yourself? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the backstory of me and my ex. Long story short, you know, obviously I learned from it, and I I should have pulled the trigger and be the big guy, big guy, big girl, and just be like, hey, I think it's better to, to move on from this. But I didn't. I was too in love with them. Well, that's a mistake I made, and yeah.
And like what you said about the leading up to the breakup, like the ignoring, like you was trying to contact him and he was busy, but you saw he was online on Netflix. Like it just reminds me of like my breakup, but instead of me doing it, it was like the other way around. So
right.
I just think that's just people just get complacent and they get bored and they think that why am I still in a relationship for? Single life is better. And then when they break up with you and they see the grass is green on the other side, they think, actually the grass really is not green on the other side. What have I done? Single life is shit. And then they try and come back to you,
Yeah.
Andre, you can probably relate to that, can't you?
Hey, man.
Bro, we just speak facts on the show, man. I'm telling you.
Do you want to discuss anything?
Nah, mate. Okay.
Andre, I just want to hear your opinion on what I said, or what was said between us.
Like, what I would... So, like, I've heard what Andy has said.
Yeah.
But, like I said, I've had my... some relationships that I've worked on, some that didn't work out. I would say, like, for me, my thing is I kind of have a limit, and as like for all of us as we're growing, you kind of like change over time. So let's say because I'm single now, maybe there's something that I might not have learned that I didn't know back then that I know now. That probably if I did know, I would have, like put me in a longer term relationship. But then kind of have to learn along the way as you go. And sometimes people are not meant for you. So it's like you have to hope that you're doing the right thing, because you could also be, which is the weird thing about what Andy said. Because if she's saying that, okay, I've been in like a 5-year relationship and he tried to come back, it's almost sort of like it puts you in a sticky situation of like, what if, but then sometimes what if don't end. So, well, I suppose because I'm not in one right now, I wouldn't be the best to give you that answer. You'd have to act like as one of them people that have been like longer relationships than I have been.
Of course. Yeah, definitely. David, what about you? Like, are you in those situations, would you get back with an ex? Do you believe in that, or do you just think like if that person doesn't work out, they're not for you, move on?
Yeah, I've made some mistakes, and I've thought I was doing the correct thing in the past.
Yeah.
First of all, with my ex, she wanted me to be a certain way.
Yeah.
And obviously it's changing who I was as a person, and I didn't really want to do that. But for the relationship, I was like, okay, let me do this for her, or do it for the relationship, do it for sort of our future together.
Yeah.
And it backfired, and it didn't work out. And then when we did break up, there was a few months of, I kind of want to chat with her again. And then we'll be chatting one time and then doing this and doing that. And then there'd be like, back and forth. And then we would have like 2 months not speaking, and then a month here. And then eventually I found out that, she moved on. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Okay, I need to fully switch everything off. Not focus, not try and remember anything about her. I got rid of everything. Like, That's how I deal with stuff. I literally just delete everything. I get rid of everyone. I just move on.
Yeah.
And I just focused on my stuff, and I was like, you know what? I've had this idea of starting up my own business in my head since I was 18. Let's go ahead with it. You know, the technology's out there. Boom. Let's go ahead with it. You know.
Yeah.
So that's what I did, and I had enough money to do what I wanted to do, and it made me sort of like focus on what I was going to do as well. You know, I wasn't like, it distracted me in a way.
Yeah.
So, and now I've learned that I'm not going to change myself. Well, obviously I can adapt to someone to sort of fit their needs, etc. But I'm not going to fully change who I am just to be with someone. You know,
Exactly.
like if someone loves me for who I am, then great. If they don't love me for who I am and they want me to change to be a certain way, then I can't do that. I can't fulfill their needs. And I'm not going to do that for someone.
You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to.
What I would add on to what David has said so far is, and also what Andy has said, because it seems that the COVID situation has kind of put people in. I think it might have broken a lot of relationships and might have also created a lot of them. So
exactly. Andrew, sorry to cut you quickly here. When you said about the COVID, I've seen two things come out of COVID in terms of relationships. Either fucking increased pregnancies or increased breakups. It's true, isn't it?
Yo, I'm hearing you, but I think there's been a worldwide focus on like mental health.
Yeah.
And that could put it, because mental health was a big issue, and that is one thing that certainly breaks up a lot of relationships. So, you know, I can understand where Andy's coming from, but also at the same time, I can understand David. And for especially David, I would say like him like moving on to doing like all this business and stuff. For me is. From my perspective, was really like good, because it's like kind of like you've spoken to your friend about some business stuff, and then you just see a bit of turmoil going on in their life. But then when they start getting on to their business and it's looking bright, you kind of be like, yeah, this is better. This is kind of what I want to see of. Like, you want to see them prosper, basically. Yeah, so it's been great to see that.
And I feel like, Andy, you need to try and find that as well. Like, you've got some stuff going on in your personal life. I don't know if you want to discuss about that, but you've got some good things going on for you. And what you need is to focus on yourself for now. And then if someone does come along and is willing to support you in your goals and your achievements in life, then great. Like, okay, your parents may give you a stick for being 26 and not being able to find someone. So what? You can be 30, 31, 32, you can be 38 and still have no one. But as long as you've got those goals and achievements in life and you've done them, or you're getting close to them, then great. Because it's your life. It's not your parents' life. It's not your future boyfriends or other guys' lives. It's your life. So go and live it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just hopefully you do it in a way that would make you not regret, I suppose.
Yeah. And to add on that as well, as long as you're happy in your own skin, you know, you're happy with the person you see in the mirror. You know.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Vinny. That's a really good point. I think that's one thing that makes or could break a relationship, at least for me. I think sometimes you have to look at the man in the mirror, but sometimes that can tell you whether you still want to be there or whether you want to leave or not. You have to kind of like look at who you're becoming, because like you can be in spaces and you're not really who you're meant to be.
I feel you, brother. And I've had times when I wasn't happy with myself, and I just, you know, it messes you. You mentioned mental health, man. It messes you up. But then you said, Like the solution to that is like someone's not gonna come around and fix you, bro. You gotta fix yourself and work on your own life. Whether it be external goals, whether it be something as simple as like thinking, "Oh, today I'm gonna go to the gym," and do a workout.
Yeah, yeah. I think those gym workouts, bro, like those have been great for me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've had some good workouts in the last year that have like really kept me going.
Of course, bro.
And some good food, man. Some good food. What have you guys been eating lately, chef? Good food, yeah?
Mate, I try, but I'm telling you, bro, during lockdown, like, I've just been ordering fast food, bro. And that's why now I'm going extra harder in the gym,
I'm hearing.
Yeah.
David, how's it been for you?
In what gym?
Well, just like food wise and just health well-being. How's that going?
Yeah, like food wise, I'm okay. And then gym, I've literally just started. Really, I was doing exercises at home and just doing some running and stuff. But if I want to grow my muscles, like I want to get a bit bigger and a bit stronger. So I'm starting, and then really is teaching me a little bit, So, and then Andy, obviously, you've got some things going on, but once those things are over, do you feel like you're going to try and do some exercises and sort of motivate yourself to sort of improve yourself?
Yeah, only at the physiotherapy, to be honest. Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah. So I feel like if someone is watching this video, hopefully there's a few people that are still watching and listening in, the best thing to do is literally just improve yourself. So if you come out of a relationship or you're trying, like you're breaking up or trying to reminisce on the good times of someone, is just to improve yourself. And then if you can find someone that is helping you or is on a similar goal or achieve a similar wavelength as you, then great, But if there's no one coming along, then just focus on yourself, improve yourself as much as possible. And it could be as simple as trying to get a promotion at work. It could be simple as like going to the gym. It could be simple as getting a pet, even just like cleaning your apartment or your house or whatever. Like it can be simple little tasks.
Like the simple things in life. I think that that's a good point, dude. I think for the way the world is going now, I think that a lot of people have had to learn how to do the same basic tasks over and over again, even though they're not so enjoyable. It's sort of like a mentality that you kind of use, that you can transfer from whether it's gym or whether it's like, your academic life. It's just like, it's a sort of like mentality that you can have that can carry you through a lot. And I think that that is a very useful mentality to have.
So winner mindset, it's all about consistency, and they say like repetition is the mother of skill. Even if it's the most mundane task, if you repeat it and you get good at it, it's gonna pay off in the long run.
Yeah,
it could be simple as studying.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, Andre, what's he gonna say?
Even though I made that point that I agree, I also partly don't agree, because sometimes, bro, you can do the same task, and if you're doing it in a dumb way, then obviously.
Oh, of course not. I mean, like in a get good at it type of way.
Yeah, mastery basically. You want to master it, yeah.
Exactly. So I think like we've spoken enough about relationships. Like let's do a quick summary. So first of all, like I'm gonna ask each of you, like in one sentence, what would you say about relationships in your 20s? Like if you was to give advice to the listener or tell them to learn from your experience, like what's like the one thing you tell them? Let's start with Andy.
Advice I would give is to not jump into it just like that. Try to figure out what you want first.
So like know yourself first, basically.
Yeah, because I don't. That's the mistake I keep making.
Yeah. I guess, but you're discovering yourself at the end of the day, which is, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely true.
Yeah. What about you, Andre?
I would say, you should get to know people a bit more, but also shoot your shot. Don't waste nobody's time. That's what I'll say. Yeah, you don't waste nobody's time. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, I totally agree as well. You know, like, no, I totally agree as well. Like, okay, we're everyone's still young. Yeah, you can be 35 and 40 and whatever and still be young. But the thing is, you don't want to put dedication into someone for 10 years and then they end up not fulfilling what you want. Yeah, like there's no point, you know. Like it's the same mentality. If you go to the gym and you keep doing something and it's not giving you any gains, and you think you're doing it in a dumb way, like, why keep doing it? You know,
it's like you're benching 50 kg for 3 years, sort of thing, right? You're not seeing no improvements, no gains.
Yeah. So it's the same sort of metaphor, you know. So like, not metaphor. What am I talking about? Analogy. Yeah, sorry. If you, what am I trying to say? Just ask me the question.
One sentence, bro. What would you?
One sentence.
What would you tell yourself? What would you either give advice to the listener or wish you knew when you was younger in terms of relationships?
Yeah, okay. Don't waste your time.
So the same with Andre.
Yeah, don't waste your time. Like, I've wasted my time with my ex, and I was like trying to change myself to fit her needs, and it just didn't work. And I was trying to, it wouldn't have worked. I should have cut it off there. And I was like, okay, I don't think this relationship's gonna work. But I wasted like a year and a half, even maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
Trying to fit into her needs, you know. So
that's a pretty big sentence, G.
I would like to add a little bit into what David has said. That also is also worth us saying before we leave here, and anybody comes to a disclaimer. That obviously, even though David is saying that, to a certain extent, he's had to go to that experience to be able to say that. So for the listener, don't just be like, you don't have his experience, so don't just be like, oh, as soon as don't like just cancel everyone just because somebody said that. Look at your life and see if it's worth it.
Yeah, don't be afraid, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point, you know, because if you don't do, you'll never know.
Yeah.
So I'd say like my sort of lesson or my advice I'd say is you gotta know your true value, man. Because I used to be like you mentioned earlier, I need someone to fill the void. Without that person, I'm down. I'm not this. I'm not that. Nah, man. Know your value. Know that you know what you bring to the table, innit?
Yeah. And kind of rely on your support systems. Normally, you're gonna have some support. Hopefully, you have some support systems. Some people don't have support systems, but usually, for the average person, it'd be like your family or your favorite friend, your siblings.
Of course.
But your support system will help you in good times, and it could help you in bad times. But if your support system is not great, life's looking a bit long for you, I ain't gonna lie. So
exactly, yeah. Like imagine having a toxic support system.
No, and no support system is perfect, is worth saying. So if it's okay, don't You know, the people that are just crying out like, "Oh, my support system not great," but look, trust me, it can always be worse. So you got to look at it with it.
100%, man. All right, guys. This is a segment on relationships. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, share to your friends, leave a comment, and stay tuned for more of season 2 at London Boy Podcast. Peace out, everyone.